Hey guys, this is Andre from Wealthy Neighbor, and this is our second video in our Dealing with Risk series. So in the first video, we covered a brief introduction about a financial risk, and we made an analogy with surfing, and we figured out what we could learn from that analogy. So basically, we should be prepared as much as we can, and we should know what can happen, what's the worst case scenario, and we should not be afraid of taking risks. So in the second video, we'll cover some more analogies and risk definitions in our day-to-day life. So take a time to read our disclaimer, and if you agree with all the terms, let's go. So basically, we'll see 4 different situations, and in each one of them, we want to know what do we have to lose, or what are we afraid of, or what are the risks in the particular situation. And after that, we want to list the benefits of taking that set risk and the potential rewards. So what would motivate us to take such risk? And finally, we want to list some strategies to try to minimize the risk. So once we know what the worst case scenario might be and what we stand to lose, we can try to minimize it. First situation, asking someone out. So this is probably something all of us have been through. It's kind of hard to ask someone out. Why? What do I have to lose in the situation? Well, for starters, I can get rejected, right? It's not very good for my ego. I mean, I can get depressed or something and can get sad because the girl I like doesn't like me back or don't want anything to do with me. What else? What do I have to lose? Maybe it's just a one-time opportunity. So once I ask the girl out and she says no, I will never have the chance to redo it. So have to be extra careful about that. If I'm thinking about asking someone out, it's because I'm looking for someone. I don't want to be alone anymore, or I'm looking for a relationship. So the benefit would be to actually find someone to talk, to go out with, to have a relationship with. Once I know the worst case scenario, rejection, or having to do it right in the first attempt, how can I minimize the risk? Well, unfortunately, in this case, since every person is a person, every individual is a different individual, we can't actually be sure, I can't actually be sure that when I ask a girl out, she is going to say yes. Or if I ask another girl that looks like the first one, I can't make an assumption that whether it's going to work or not. But I can do a couple of things to minimize this risk of rejection. Girls are into men who work out, I can work out and take care of my body. Or maybe girls are into men with money. I can be rich, work hard and have a lot of money just to show off. Or maybe girls are into intelligent men, so I can be or pretend to be intelligent, talk about different stuff and try to impress them. I can do all sorts of things to minimize the risk of being rejected when I ask someone out. Besides all those things I've already said, I can also try to dress well. I can try to think carefully about a nice date. Yeah, as you can see, there are all kinds of things we can do to minimize risk in this situation. So the next one, applying for a job. This is also something that a lot of people will have to go through in their lives. When you're applying for a job or looking for follow up your studies in a graduate course, what is it that you have to lose? In this case, maybe you can lose time, for example, to an effort that you put into the application. You can also lose faith. Like, for example, just like in the previous case, a rejection is not something that people usually take well, so it can make you sad and make you question yourself and think that you are not worth it, not good for anything, and you're never going to get the job, and everything's lost, all these things. Especially if you have debt, or if you currently don't have a lot of money and you're running out of money. So if you have some kind of financial problem, then you have a lot of pressure on you, right, to get the job and get a paycheck to pay your bills and pay your debts. So there is also a lot of pressure on you. The benefits of applying for a job. Well, maybe you will get the job if your qualifications are right. If the employer is looking for someone with your profile, or if you have what the employer expects. So unless you try, you'll never know. If you don't actually apply for the job and put yourself out there and risk being rejected, you'll never know if you are going to get the job or not. Now, what can we do to minimize this risk of rejection, this risk of not getting the job we want? Well, for starters, we can build up our curriculum, right? Can study more, take courses, take even free courses or paid ones, try to build up our language skills, our programming skills, and try to be involved in all kinds of things related to the field we are applying for, and so on. So if we want to minimize the risk about not getting a job, we should work on our resume, right? And we shouldn't lose faith and keep looking and keep applying for different jobs, because odds are eventually you're going to land one, and from there you can build up your career. You can look for a higher position, a better paid position, or even look for a different job in another company that pays better. So once you get the first job, then you have a lot more of options to explore. So every time we buy stuff, we are kind of risking money, because we don't know whatever this stuff works, whatever it's what we expect or what we need. For example, you are watching TV and you see this commercial about the new phone, and you know that your phone is not working very well. It's kind of slow. So this commercial says that the phone has really good specs and is selling at an affordable price. So you can risk buying it. You can give it a shot. Maybe it's what you need and you paid a good price for it. Maybe, luckily, you can return it if you don't wait too long. But still, this is kind of a wrestle. So when you buy something, you're also risking your time, but mostly you're risking your money. And what are the benefits of taking the risk? Well, you're going to get what you need. And maybe this is something very good, something that works well, something durable, and something that has a design you like, and something that does everything that you need. And finally, in this situation, how do you minimize the risk of not getting what you want? Here we have some alternatives, such as searching online for example, video reviews on YouTube about people who own the same product and what do they say about it. Or if you have friends who also have the same thing, maybe you can ask them, or even ask them to try it if it's something that you can try. Or you can go to the store that's selling the product and you can check yourself. You can hold it, you can, I don't know, press the buttons, you can see how it works. We can do all those things to minimize the risk of buying something that we regret. And finally, in this last example, traveling. What do we have to lose when we travel? Well, maybe we are going to some place that we end up not liking that much, so we spend a lot of money for the plane ticket, the hotels, and we also invest a lot of effort, right, to pack the bags and research all the activities. And when we get there, we are really disappointed because it's not what we expected. Or another risk, if you depending on the place you're going to travel, maybe it's a dangerous place and you can get robbed or get hurt. The benefits of traveling are huge, and you can get to know a different country, you get to know different people, a different lifestyle. It will definitely affect the way you see the world, the way you think about your current life. And traveling will kind of affect you in a lot of different ways. And some people like to travel alone by themselves, while some other people like to travel with their friends or their significant others. And in each case, you have a different experience and something to enjoy and something to discover. Traveling brings us all these new feelings, and I would say that's the benefit of taking this risk. Now, what can we do to minimize it? We know what we want to see, but we really don't know what's going to happen. For example, if you want to take a trip and you're looking forward to that sunny weather, but all of a sudden you get that really cloudy weather, every day is raining. You are not going to be able to do anything you planned for. So your trip's kind of ruined, right? No. In order to minimize this risk, we have to come up with different activities and different things to do in all kinds of weather. For example, if the weather is bad outside, focus on visiting museums or parks or indoor places. And also you can pick the time you're traveling most of the times. So try to avoid the rainy season if you want to go out and camp and visit national parks, for example. Also, when you're traveling, mind your safety, right? Don't trust strangers all the time. Be skeptical. Take care of your stuff and try to avoid walking around with a lot of things showing off, and don't risk going to places that the locals say is dangerous. So research about the place you're going. Ask on forums such as TripAdvisor about ask other people who have been to the same places what are the best stuff to do, what should you be mindful about, and make plans and know all your options. And as you can see, all aspects of life have some risk involved, but it doesn't mean we should avoid them altogether, because otherwise we'll just stay home and do nothing. So take risk, but take risk in a responsible way. Understand the nature of risk and prepare yourself for it. This will be the starting point of our analysis on risk in the financial markets. So how to deal with risk with our investment, and we will cover this topic in our next and final video in this Dealing with Risk series. So thank you very much for watching, and looking forward to see you guys in the next video. Remember, if you have any questions or suggestions, don't hesitate to leave a comment. Thank you guys, see you later.